Hey, this is Erik from Farpoint Farms. Today I'm going to do my very first knife review, and for my very first knife review, I'm going to review one of my very first knives. Yep, you've heard of it. You've probably seen it on TV. If you haven't, I'll play the commercial for you here in a few minutes. But it is the Ronco survival knife, made of 420 molecular steel with a hollow handle just like Rambo would have had. And this baby's got a compass on the end. Man, this thing is kick ass. Well, I'll tell you what, see the back there, you could saw down trees, open up paint cans. I'm telling you, this was the thing. When I was in the 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th grade, if you didn't have one of these, you were a nobody, and I mean that. Of course, as an adult, we realized these knives were absolutely useless. The blades being extremely dull, very soft steel, quite useless in pretty much every manner. The pleatherette or a vinyl sheath on this one broke probably the first time I used it. It's been taped up a few times. The little sheath that's down in here, let's see if it's still got it in there. No, it's rough. Originally it came with a really cool sharpening stone that I think was more like a dulling stone, but it's long gone, probably lost in the woods somewhere. And you know, I used it on many camping trips, and I don't even think it was very good at carving sticks for hot dogs or anything like that, but you couldn't pry it out of my hands. My friend had an identical one. His was camouflage. His had a plastic handle. Mine actually has the, I don't know what that is. I think it's pot steel, but I'm going to get it close to the camera here so you can see just how well worn this booger is. All the paint's flaked off of it, and there's rust on the stainless steel blade. I did actually have this thing professionally sharpened at some point in life, and haven't really used it since, so it does have a sharp blade, but I think if you tried to cut through even a soft pine branch, it would probably be the end of that. The completely useless serrated edges here for cutting down trees or whatnot. But what was really cool about these, if you were a fan of Rambo and all the rest, was that you could open this booger up like this. And you know what, I'll tell you, there was one thing on this thing that worked, and that was the compass. It actually does work. I don't know if I'd trust my life on it, but for general north, south, east, west, you know, it did work. I used it a few times. Now, but here's the cool part, right? You've got these two rings here, which look just like keychain rings because that's exactly what they are. But wait, they also turn into a giant saw for cutting down small trees. And then you had this, and oh man, this was the shit right here. I modified mine, of course, because I used all the stuff many times. Mine has the addition of a P38 can opener, and if you're not familiar with a P38 can opener, maybe I'll go over that in another video, but that's the U.S. Army P38 can opener for back before MREs. We had C-rats, and that's how you opened a C-rat. You can also use it to open any can. Got a little hole there. That was for hanging on your dog tag like I had. And matter of fact, from the looks of it, that's probably one that was hanging on my dog tag for some years. Anyway, that's that. Then you got the little baggie, the waterproof baggie that kept everything safe, supposedly. And this, oh crap, I'm not going to take that out. That is a saw blade that you hook between those two rings, and that's what you're supposed to be able to saw down trees with. You also had one pin, so you could you know, sew yourself up after you shot or had your arm ripped off, just like Rambo did. And then, of course, you had to have some matches. And there's 5 matches, and inside this is a little striker. And let's see what else we got in here. Oh yeah, this is the best part. Again, I'm not going to open this because it's kind of old, but let's see if I can get it. Yeah, that's about as much as I can get it open. It's your fishing kit. There's the string is gone, but it did come with some fishing string too. There's a weight, there's 2 hooks, there's another needle. Oh, the string is in there. There's about 10 foot of fishing line in there too. So basically, with that setup and your survival knife, you didn't really need anything else. I didn't need anything else. I could just go out there with this and run around in my underwear if I wanted to, and I could survive forever on catching fish, cutting down trees, starting fires, and opening up cans of sea rations, which I didn't have. So this knife is the epitome of awesome for a kid, and if you can find one like it, as a matter of fact, hold on a second, I've got one. This is the modern day equivalent. I purchased this at Harbor Freight on sale. I believe it was $6.99, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So it grew a little bit over the years. Let's compare the two. Oh, this is the original, and of course, you know, everything gets bigger. So we got the monstrous knife here, and it weighs, ooh, I'm going to say about 3 times as much. But the concept is so similar. Both have the serrated edges on the back. This one has a much deeper cut to it. And then, of course, this gargantuan blade, which you could easily, that sucker actually is sharp. I must have sharpened that after I bought it. Now this one, I did up for one of my friend's kids. It also has all the cool stuff, man. It's got the hollow handle, which will guarantee that if you tried to use it as a real knife in an emergency situation, it would probably break on you and leave you totally screwed. But for fun, for camping, for a toy, or for your kids, it's pretty groovy. There's your compass. This one's not water filled. This one just kind of floats around. I've never actually tried it to see if it works. It does move, but not much. I don't think I'd trust this one. And then, of course, like the other one, it's got the pretty groovy kit in here. If I can get it out of here, it's all in plastic baggie. My fingers are a little bigger than. Oh, there it is. Look at this. Oh, wow. This one's awesome. This one's got a miniature bobber in it. So you've got a bobber. There's your hollow handle there. You got a bobber, and you've got your kit. It's got everything the other one has, but wait, there's more. This one has a sewing kit with different color threads in it. I mean, that's, now if you're Rambo and you're in the woods and you get your arm ripped off, not only can you sew yourself shut, but then you can sew your shirt and you don't have to have stitches that don't match. You can sew it green, which is really cool. So anyway, I kind of fixed this one up for him. He's my friend's Sons and Scouts, and I figured this would be a neat thing to have, probably show off all the other kids. $6.99. The only thing I added to it really was I wrapped some paracord around it for him. His little hands probably come up to about there. You know, even my full-size hand don't have a problem with that. But you could carve something with it. You could definitely stab something with it. I don't know if you'd ever want to try to use that as a real knife either, because it's a hollow handle. The blade only goes to about there, and if you were to hit it pretty good, you'd break that in half, I'd say, fairly quickly. The knife itself is actually a fairly thick piece of steel. It's a whole lot better quality steel than my old original knife, and the sheath is also a giant improvement over the original knife. This one's got a plastic insert to keep it from falling apart, and it's actually stitched nylon instead of like car vinyl seat covering. I don't know why they use that, but anyway, I'm a huge fan of these Rothco knives. I actually have a few of them. Anytime I see one at a yard sale or a flea market, I pick it up. There's one that's in slightly better shape. The paint's still flaking off of it, but this one has the sharpening stone in it. Looks like it was never used, which is pretty cool. And then, you know, I don't pay usually more than $2 or $3 for them. Let's see. This one's actually fairly sharp for what it is. I don't know if the kit's in it. A lot of these are missing their kits or missing the sheaths by the time you find them at yard sales. No, it's got the kit in there. I won't pull it out because I'm sure it's the same as the first kit. Put that back on. But then I've got another one of these puppies. I don't have any of the camouflage ones. It seems the black ones must have been more popular. And that's this one. And this one's in new condition. Again, I got this at a gun show, and I think I paid $5 for it, but it was never used. It still has the, look at this. This is not leather. This is nylon. No, not nylon. It's pleather, like car seat covering. You know, the backside is a cloth. This thing, you could break it before you tied it onto you. And it's cheaply riveted together. It's incredibly poor quality, but like I said, for a 10 to 13 or 14-year-old kid, this was the thing to have. You know, I mean, this is made in Taiwan. Oh, man. So anyway, that's my very first knife review for one of my favorite knives for just owning and playing with and showing. Would I use this in a life-threatening situation? No. You don't want to do that. Would I use this in a situation where I was just going to go camping in the backyard? Yeah, sure. I could sharpen it enough to make some marshmallows and cook some hot dogs. I might even throw one in my car. You know, it doesn't take up any space, but I wouldn't trust my life on it. If you want to trust your life on a knife, this is not it. This Harbor Freight model here is also not it. Definitely a cool knife. I mean, wow, looks great. Probably hanging on a wall or something. But, you know, you could intimidate somebody with this thing, I'll tell you that. If you got out of a car and said, hey man, you know, back off. I think that's, you know, that's like that Crocodile Dundee movie. This is a knife. But it's just for show. It's just a toy knife. It's for fun. Something inexpensive to play with. Do not trust your life on a hollow handled knife. And if you do have to trust your knife on a cheap knife, that's fine, but don't trust it on one that's a survival knife. Get one that has a full tang, which means the metal from the blade runs all the way through it, all the way down into the handle. This is a relatively rare knife. This is a buck knife. They were kind of cashing in on the survival knife setup too. It's actually a nice hunting knife that I use. I gut deer with it. It looks like a Rambo knife, which is probably why I got it back in the 80s. But it's a buck model 639, which they haven't made in many years. But it has a nice rubber handle with good grip on it. And the blade, the tang, which is the metal part of the blade, goes all the way down to the base. So you were to strike at something or stab something, you could break the tip off of it. If you were to slash at something, that's fine, but you will not break it here, which is the weak point on one that just ends at the top part of the handle like that. The metal goes all the way down. So this is a great knife. God, I've carried this thing for years, anytime I was out in the woods, and it shows. I mean, the blade's a little worn on it. It's got some nicks in it from doing some stuff, but I would trust my life with this thing. I have trusted my life with this thing. And I've done some things with it that you probably shouldn't do, but you know, it still works. And of course, Buck, made in America, most of their models still are. Good knives. So I'll get into that one later on, but I just wanted to show you the difference between, if you want a survival looking knife, at least get something like this that's got real potential. For your kids or for fun, by all means, pick up a Ronco survival knife. And I'm going to play a video right from the 80s, which is where I got my first one, watching this on TV in a commercial for one of these babies. So we'll watch the video after that. I'm out. Have a good one. This is Erik, Farpoint Farms. This is my very first knife review.
What you are about to witness may be the most striking purchase you will make. This is the Survivor, the ultimate knife with all the accessories to help you survive on your own. Each survival knife is a whopping 12 inches long, yes, a foot in length, yet so perfectly balanced, it cuts like an extension of your own hand. From the razor-sharp tip of the blade to the top of the handle, the entire blade is made of 420 molecular stainless steel. And at the bottom of the handle is a precision liquid compass. You'll know where you are and where you're going. Yes, these are the same original survival knives sold in leading newspapers and magazines across America. They are the best-selling knives of its kind ever sold by us. Yet now you can get one during this limited publicity campaign for the special TV price of $10. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll also get the companion survival kit, cleverly concealed in the handle of the survival knife. All this is included at no extra cost. You get emergency fishing equipment, emergency sewing repair kit, emergency cable saw, actually capable of cutting down a small tree, and emergency waterproof wrapped matches to start a blazing fire immediately. Yet if you order now, you'll get it all for only $10. And here's another incredible surprise. If you order within 24 hours, you'll get this heavy-duty sheath that you can wear on your belt. It comes with a built-in snap pouch containing a sharpening stone, and you can keep the sheath and sharpening stone free, even if you decide to return the survival knife for a complete refund. Be a survivor. Buy the Survivor. So call toll-free now and order your choice of black or camouflage.
And if you order within 1 hour, you'll also get this multi-purpose sportsman's knife.
To get your survival knife, plus the companion survival kit, plus your free sportsman's knife, just call toll-free 1-800-453-1901. That's 1-800-453-1901. You save $5 COD and handling charges by using your credit card. Or mail $10 to Survival Knife, Box C622, Brooklyn, New York, 11219.
We now return to They Saved